You think you know about relationships, but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you're sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good, but it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Man, score 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't. Yo, what's up? We behind the paywall on the Patreon. What's up, Patreon people? We're behind the scenes with Matt Richards. Y'all probably already watched the regular show. I wanted to get into some game too, because we're talking about, if you listen to the early show, we were talking about his situation right now, and I believe that one of the things he was saying is that the chick went through his phone, found he was flirting with some goofy chicks, and it got to be, and the first thing is that there's a misrepresentation of, if somebody's going through your phone, here's an interesting thing too. If somebody's going through your phone, right, they're ultimately going through your phone because they don't think they're worthy, right? See, and so you have to look at the fact that insecurity comes from and this thing of how you perceive yourself as your own value. So you're only going through somebody's phone when you think when you're not worthy, because if you really think you're dope and you're like, it's sort of like if you got a chauffeur and you paying the chauffeur $500,000 a year, right? Because he's your chauffeur.
A lot for a chauffeur.
That's a lot for a chauffeur. But maybe you part of friend of the family, whatever, you give him $500,000 for being a chauffeur. If this motherfucker is not on point, he gets fired immediately. Because you got a good job, you don't appreciate the value that you give me as a chauffeur is not $500,000. So this is a gift. So if I'm giving you a gift, there should be something you should want to live up to that gift, or you want to make sure that if you're insecure about yourself, then what you want to do is you want to control me. And how do you control me? You got to go through my phone. You got to find things, because I don't believe I'm important enough for you to stay with me and just stay with me. So I gotta dig in. I feel this deficit. I feel like you have more value. And because I don't really think I'm worthy, I'm going through your phone. I mean, it's fucked up that when she went through, she found you flirting with, but I'm saying on a base level, the reason why she went into your phone was because she was feeling insecure.
That's ultimately what it boiled down to.
And if you think about it, she was going to school, she was home, right? And you literally was taking care of the bills and everything. So she literally knew that you had her back, and it might have even made her feel uncomfortable that you was taking care of everything, because she didn't feel like she was worthy. So it's an interesting thing. There's a concept that me and Harry used to talk about this back in the days, but a woman particularly doesn't fall in love with you for what you do for her. It's what she does for you. And the reason being, because
I was going to say, explain that. That's heavy.
Well, because if you do things for me, right, I give you you have purpose in the context of my life. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Like, so I give you purpose. I'm not saying that she doesn't have endeavors and dreams and whatever. I'm just saying, but I'm giving you purpose in the context of your life. So you could say he needs me, and he needs me means that you give her that's value. That's it's a declaration of value. He needs me. I have value. And so when a lot of times when you think you're doing things and giving and giving and giving, a lot of times that's not where the love, that's not how the girl she falls in love with you. She falls in love with you when she can find purpose in your life. You know, when she knows that her actions affect you, make you happy, make you pleased. That's what she wants. And
now, how do you quantify that with somebody who is not being the case for Matt or anything, but I'm just saying in general, like somebody who is a gold digger or somebody who is really ultimately selfish?
Every gold digger, so a gold digger is abusive, right? She's an abusive person. So in a gold digger, she wants to take advantage. The whole point is to take advantage, right? So what do we say about abusive people? Abusive people in any social relationship, there will always be the person who abuses and the person who gets abused. That's the two archetypes that exist in any abusive relationship. Now, the difference is if the person, if somebody's abusive, they don't care which position they play. They don't care if they play the abused or they don't care if they play the abuser. As long as both the archetypes are fulfilled, because usually somebody who's abusive like that comes up from a family or a household that is abusive, where there's abuse that goes on. And in the context of that abuse, that's what feels natural. You know, that's what feels natural and comfortable because you grow up. You know, it's like you have fish tanks. I always say the brackish fish. If you got brackish fish and you're, fish is used to that salty, dirty water with the bacteria. You got to build the bacteria and everything, right? If you put that fish in clean water, it'll die
immediately.
It will conk the fuck out because it's so accustomed to that toxic. So if you get a girl,
now a brackish fish can live in cleaner water, but you have to acclimate it,
right?
But it no longer. Oh, you mean the fish? You have to adjust the fish to it.
Anytime you bring a fish home, you should adjust the fish.
Right.
To the water.
But it's gradual. Like I remember when.
You adjust fish to water.
Well, there's temperature, there's bacteria, there's certain cultures.
There's a device called a drip acclimator. So you put the fish in a separate container, and then you allow water from your tank to slowly, like a couple drips a minute.
The visual I had was just wrong, man.
That's why your fish died, nigga.
I'm just thinking a nigga just taking a fish and then just dipping them. Like how you good?
No.
Like a cookie. He did it like an Oreo cookie.
Like, I don't know how to acclimate fish, man.
It's
not hard, but it is a labor of love.
Yeah, but my point is those certain fish are comfortable in certain environments, and if those fish are taken out of that environment, they'll die. So if a woman is accustomed to abusive relationships, a lot of times she will seek out abusive people. And if you're a nice guy, then you become the abused, and she just takes the abusive position, the selfish position. But they don't care which is which. So you're thinking you're adjusting and compromising, and when the dynamic is supposed to be you're the abused and I am the abuser. Unless, of course, you become more abusive. Now, when you become more abusive, then they tolerate the abuse. It does, like, it flips. So if she ever dated a guy who was a bigger asshole than her, she would be the abused. It's a weird kind of thing. But you got to understand,
what
if
she
you're
loves
dealing
is the drama, though, really more than anything else.
It's used to the dynamic. Yeah, it's the dynamic of the thing that she's accustomed to. And I mean, we all have that.
If you don't create the toxic environment, then she's going to create the toxic environment for herself.
She's going to make sure. She's going to be comfortable. She's going to maintain whatever homeostasis she's accustomed to. And we do the same thing. You get guys who have like overbearing moms, and they marry their mother, and their wife runs their life. You know, they'll just somebody who
It
just
becomes a whole pattern that they keep continuing.
And you got to recognize that the pattern exists, and then in order to stop it, because you
That's
otherwise,
what they're used to.
Emotionally, you're going, if you're just going by what's you're going by emotionally, and the emotion is usually whatever you're most comfortable with is what you feel best about. You know,
I think Matt don't realize his mic is off.
Turn my mic off because I'm trying to figure out Uber Eats for my dad.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
He want
Hey, you
deep
should
dish
do
pizza,
Jersey
but he's
Mike's.
being picky.
Tell him let's go to Jersey Mike's.
Not the subs. Not the subs.
Oh, that is the subs place.
It is
Yeah.
a subs place, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Funny story. The comic Yasser Lester posted a fake Jersey Mike post saying that they were making a BLMT, which is a Black Lives Matter BLT, and
BLMT.
he
That's
got a
funny.
bunch of people on Twitter pissed off. Like, how could a company stoop so low to try to make money off a tragedy?
BLMT is so funny though.
Bro, and he was like, it's a joke, stupid.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I would have
Black
left that
Lives Matter and tomato.
That's so funny. BLMT.
A BLMT.
Oh,
It low key sound delicious.
That should just be one
Taste
of
the justice.
those Muslim bean pie sandwiches where it's just bean spread. Like that should be the BLMT.
Yo, I had one bean pie.
That shit is good.
Yeah, fucking Derek made it. I was like, nigga, this shit is actually all right.
I
Derek
had a
who?
bean pie one time
Gaines.
Derek Gaines made a bean pie?
Nigga made a bean pie and had graham cracker crust or some shit.
Derek make bean pies?
Tell him marching is easier. Just march, bro. You don't have to.
I didn't
Is
know
his
Derek.
family Muslim or something?
I have
They
no
in the fruit?
idea why. I can't explain it.
Son, come
I'm
on. You
dropping
didn't
Derek
ask.
home.
You didn't even
dropping
ask
Derek
how
home.
this nigga made
Andre,
bean
don't
pie, and
ask.
you didn't even
Andre, don't
ask.
ask where the food
Nigga
comes
said-
from, bro.
I'm dropping him home. He get out the car. He's like, yo, wait right here. I'm gonna be right back. I'm like, all right. You come back and he had like, yo, this is a bean pie with graham cracker crust. I was like, okay.
According to my
Why am
dad,
I asking? Yeah, sure.
according to my dad, bean pies are a southern delicacy, and the Nation of Islam, Muslims in particular, just adopted it.
I think it's because they have there's like understanding of the navy bean and how the navy bean can essentially bring life and all of these things. So when they found the bean pie, it's a way to have a delicacy that is still classified as tasty and looked and blessed by Allah.
Well, yeah, a lot of them are also vegetarian.
Mm-hmm. But
Well,
there is an
right.
affinity for the
Well,
bean.
Isn't an
Nobody-
apple pie vegetarian?
Wait a minute. Nobody's gonna say nothing about what the fuck Andre just said. Everybody's gonna act like that was just regular conversation.
what'd he say?
It's like, all right, fuck y'all.
I'm not gonna
Fuck
lie. I
y'all.
was just thinking about different pies. So I
Fuck
mean, you
you.
know,
Harry got
I
hungry.
got-
You didn't hear what
I
this
got
nigga
lost.
said. You didn't hear what this nigga just said.
I missed
Not
that
really.
shit. What'd he say? I feel like
Yeah,
Dante
and
don't
I'm-
remember what you said.
And I'm high. This nigga said the Navy bean with the starts new life or something, and then,
Because
The
you know the
Navy
Navy
bean.
bean brings
This
life.
The
I
Navy bean?
almost said you don't say.
You don't say.
That's
You know, it's the quarantine, bro. I've been reading, looking at shit. I've been bugging out. This quarantine, I'm tired of this shit.
man.
Everybody
The
is, yo.
pandemic, bro. I think I'm starting to have the pandemic fatigue thing that they've discussed.
Yeah.
Shit is
Where
real.
like the hours
Yo,
of
your
the
dogs
day-
is fucking on film, nigga.
Yeah, they are. Hey,
Yo, I went up there with black pants on
that was a bad idea,
Son.
bro. I got
and
two
a
white
black
huskies
and a black t-shirt.
in the middle of shedding season. It's a bad idea.
Nigga, I look like
Dante
a kiwi.
got caught in the snow.
I look like a kiwi, nigga.
Dante walked out of here looking like the abominable snowman.
I'm like, ah.
Matt, what the affinity for animals? Out of curiosity, you know, I like dogs, but
I'm
you
a
love
nurturing
animals.
person.
Yeah,
taking care of stuff makes me feel. That's my love language.
This nigga mad soft.
That's
Hey,
my
it's not
love
soft.
language.
It's they also keep
Hey, I'm
me,
playing with you. I love animals.
I
Dog.
know they keep me hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was left to my own devices and I didn't have anything to take care of, I'd be a bum ass dude. But knowing that their lives depend on me doing well, I wake up early and I grind.
Son, he tried to say like I'm not a soft ass dude.
Dante
Nigga,
don't even feel that way about his son. He's like,
That's funny.
Dante's
I
like,
mean,
hey
like,
man,
this
you
nigga-
on your own.
that
Do your
nigga
own
be-
shit.
That nigga do be
You be
ignoring
alright.
me. He be ignoring me, son. He ignore me like, yo, like I would come in, I'll be like, he'll be walking to me like, ah, and then I go, ah, and he turns and makes a U-turn, goes the other way. I'm like, this nigga's,
Psych.
this nigga's negging me.
Cold-blooded.
I had Matt's dogs chirping when I was up in the house saving his life. Them motherfuckers was
They fuck with you.
heavy. They fuck with me heavy. Animals fuck with me heavy.
Friendly. I
Yeah,
had
they-
mad pets growing up. But I remember we did have a parrot, and that nigga froze one winter.
Where did you
Yeah,
keep the
parakeet.
parrot that it froze?
A parakeet or parrot?
Yeah, a parakeet. One of them
Okay.
little joints.
Yeah.
And how did
Yeah.
it freeze?
I think we ain't pay our heat. and, and we woke up, that boy was dead. Like, ain't nobody get this nigga a blanket or nothing? Damn, son.
Supposed to
My
cover
bad.
the cage at night.
Parrot.
Nigga, you heard Matt's feelings, son.
Yeah, I'm looking at you differently now, Andre.
Bro, what you want me to do? Work?
I want
I
you
was
to
12,
I want you to get a time machine.
Nigga, Jamaicans be having outside dogs.
Jamaicans don't like animals the way anybody else likes animals.
That's not all the way true.
Jamaicans
It's
have
absolutely
you can have
true.
an outside dog and an inside dog, nigga.
I had a Jamaican girl come by when I moved into my new place, and she was like, "So you just let them sit on the couch?
Yeah.
They can just sit on the couch. Why?
No, like we
Why
got
you letting the
pets
dog sit
now.
on the couch?
We got them little Shih Tzu poodle shits. They be running around.
What, dogs?
On the couch and yeah, they be
Oh,
doing all
okay.
kind of fuck shit. I don't let them on my bed, but
Why?
because their feet go outside.
You wipe their feet down.
I'm supposed to grab this nigga foot and wipe it.
Look at-
When you have a
You
child,
get ready to hurt Matt's feelings again, nigga.
you
Go
don't-
ahead.
when you have
Go,
a
I'm gonna let
child,
you
you
eat.
don't
I'ma
wipe
let
your
you eat.
child down. You don't clean your
First of
kid.
all, I ain't got a kid, and I would wipe the kid's foot because the kid's gonna wear sneakers outside. He not gonna just be out on the pavement.
Well, that's why I wipe my dogs down.
We have
Just
just broke these niggas up as friends right now.
Man, fuck you, Andre. That's why you
you,
dumb,
Matt.
like Dante and Harry said.
Fuck you, Matt.
You apple eating bitch.
Fuck them dogs.
First time I met Dre, he had a sack of apples.
Matt was mad at me for not having high cholesterol.
This nigga just had a sack of Granny Smith apples. as a
Someone
snack.
really teased me for being quiet.
Nigga,
in New York Comedy
if
Club.
you walking around with a sack of apples, nigga,
I
come
did
on.
not have a sack. I had
a
possibly
sack,
two.
a sack is like 8.
I had like two.
If you walking around with a whole with 8 apples, nigga,
And I offered you some, Matt.
Yes, but
motherfucker.
I didn't know where you got. I thought you went apple picking or some shit.
This nigga had 8 apples.
Had
If
an
you
odd
came around me
number-
with
it was-
8 apples, I would make fun of you and then be like, "Yo, let me
get
let me."
one vision.
It was an odd number of apples, and he was
apples do
eating
be
them.
looking good.
Don't tell me, Matt. Don't tell me he was walking around with 9 apples.
It was an
This
odd
nigga-
number of apples.
This
What is
nigga's
it?
Johnny
Odd number of
Appleseed
apples.
with
That's
9
what I said.
apples.
Son,
I
was
thought he
a
was going
way
to take a nap
to
for
keep-
20 years.
It was a way to eat.
That's
and not spend
Rumpelstiltskin,
money.
nigga.
No, that's Rip Van Winkle.
Were you
All right.
skipping, Andre?
What's that got to
Were
do
you
with
skipping
apples,
with an
nigga?
apple sack?
Well,
You an
because
apple
I thought
sack?
it was Johnny Appleseed. I don't remember what that nigga did. Paul
Let's see.
Bunyan.
My apples served a purpose, man. It was to get me through hard times.
Andre's at the club with a whole stalk of broccoli.
Cause like
Just
I'm broke,
raw
bro.
broccoli.
I'm broke, open micing. So I'm like, how can I sustain my stomach?
Apples,
I'm like,
nigga.
Fruit stand niggas. $3, you come out with 2 plastic bags.
With a sack of apples.
Oh, them fruit stand niggas held me down, son.
They do.
I'm
Because
not
they should go.
knocking that.
The fruit stand niggas fruit go bad tomorrow.
Tomorrow
So
night.
you got to get it right away.
You got to
get the best
47
stuff.
blueberries for 50 cents. I'm like, thank you, Ak. You saved my life today. I was gonna be hungry doing 13 mics in one day. Nigga, I needed to do something.
I think where I fucked up is when I was young and broke doing comedy in the beginning. I would just survive off of nutcrackers.
Dollar pizza.
Using just nutcrackers.
Dollar pizza and nutcrackers, bro.
Oh man, I was
What do you
trying to
mean
keep my abs.
nutcrackers? What are
Hey,
nutcrackers?
nutcrackers is a little liquor thing, little ghetto.
It's a cocktail that started at a bar uptown
Okay.
in New York, and then the hood got a hold of the recipe, and they started. I don't know who sold these niggas like hermetic seals, but they started making their own bottles and sealing it.
Every hood got
Yeah,
that
so
shit.
it was like a
Absolutely.
drink you could get in, look like a quarter water kind of.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they got all
shit.
the liquors and some fruit sometimes.
They be coming on the train selling them shits.
So
Niggas be selling you alcohol on the C train.
they don't do that no more, right? They don't do that no
they
more.
still they
No.
still out. I live close to Times Square. Them niggas is outside with it,
with the nutcrackers.
selling frozen nutties to the tourists.
That is hilarious. Like,
I got the cure for
Fucked up
COVID.
at
$5.
at the M&M store being
They call it
twisted at
the
M&M
cure
store.
for COVID.
That's funny as shit. Cure for
That's
COVID.
crazy, son.
It's Conquito. It's gonna save you.
Man, we got to talk about this thing, man. You gotta.
You thinking
This
about
chick,
going
man.
back with her, Matt?
Huh?
You thinking about getting back with her?
I think if I observe a considerable amount of growth on her part, as well as my part, I can't say I wouldn't ever.
No, I don't think you should ever say you would never. But do you think it's likely that level of growth is possible when the whole thing is that she's not even taking responsibility from any of it on her own part?
So here's the thing. What I complained about was that there was no accountability on her part. And
Right.
now, since we've been apart, what I have noticed is that she has, in her own words, tried to make amends for who she was being the entire time.
To you,
Yeah.
in what way? Because if y'all not together,
Hear me
how
out.
are you showing me that it's?
She has expressed to me recently that a lot of her insecurity was coming from not feeling like she was pulling her weight.
That's what I said. So because you
Which is-
paid the bills, it was exactly what I just said.
It's something I peeped, but I didn't know how to bring it up because I'm not the type. If I do something for somebody, that's not something I'm gonna throw in your face all the time.
Right.
Or ever. I do shit out of the kindness of my heart. And
That's why you bugged out when I came up in your house.
What? I was weird because
I mean, because you're not used to.
Came. I didn't
Nah,
want
but
the
I'm
judgment.
saying you're not comfortable with people doing stuff for you. That's what I'm saying. You're a giver, so you're accustomed to giving. You feel me?
Yeah, I don't like. And again, I can't
That's
thank
why
you
didn't
enough.
take the apples I gave you.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't.
Get it.
I don't do. It's weird when people try to do stuff for me because I've been so fucking. I'll do it myself all my life.
Yeah,
So
You
you,
gotta do
man, your
yourself
dad
mad.
should have been a better father.
Shut up.
He was outside looking for Jersey Mike. He did not have time.
I'm
He was
fucking with you,
trying
man.
He literally no. My dad is one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. I love my dad, and that's why I gave him my bedroom.
If you put your dad and me neck and neck, who do you like more?
I have to pick my dad.
Oh, man, I get it. You ain't got to wink.
There's no wink.
I know.
Ah, that's funny.
Good. That's funny. Oh shit. I don't know, man. I think, man. I think that I don't know how somebody would show you change unless she was with you to show you change.
So this is the
Like-
thing. We've linked up to just hang and just talk because we used to be best friends.
Mhm.
I am noticing that she is making strides in a more productive
Direction.
You can tell through a conversation that a person's
But I'm
growing
gonna
a little
say
bit.
if that is the case, then she must have really been a bitch. That you could see when somebody goes, I can see these strives. That speaks to how far off it was in the first place, and it's almost like what you're talking about is just basic civility.
So what I learned is you can't make an unhappy person happy.
Right.
That is something that I had to be a part of firsthand to witness. Like, okay, wow, nothing I do is changing the fact that you are undiagnosed as a depressed person.
Right.
I brought up therapy. I brought up all kinds of shit. And there was an unwillingness to do it because it's like, oh, that's white people shit. And I'm like, no, that's
That's the
people
shit you
shit.
need.
Mhm.
And I think it could help.
I mean, believe it or not everything white people do is evil. Just most of it. I mean, but every once
And
in a
Harry
while.
should know because he's
I'm
white.
Not, I'm not white. I don't know why.
Shut
we-
up.
He's not white.
I don't know
He
why
is
we.
a Dothraki.
I don't know why we insist on doing this bit, this phony, fake.
Dothraki
Untrue
is just
comedy
dirty
piece.
white. It's dirty
No,
white.
they wasn't white. The Dothraki. That was the
It was
horse.
dirty white.
The horseback riders from Game of Thrones.
The Dothraki.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
The wild men of Westeros.
I fucks with them niggas. Anytime I see some barbaric shit, I be like, yo, I fucks with some raw horse meat. I don't give a fuck.
Have you ever had horse meat? It's not tasty.
No, I've never had it. Where were you, in Spain?
No, I've never eaten
was
it. But I've
23rd
heard from
Street.
people that it's not that good.
23rd Street. That's funny.
I
They
think
eat
the
horse in Spain.
weirdest shit I ever ate was alligator.
I like, why? It tastes fine like chicken, like tough chicken.
Nah, that's just goofy.
In Sicily, they eat horses. One time, supposedly, I tried kangaroo meat, but I don't know for sure if it
Was
really
it
was
gamey?
or not.
Was it gamey?
It didn't taste gamey. It just tasted like a burger. So I'm still like curious if it was. You know, I'm skeptical.
My man, Iggy, Cinnabon. He hunts. Yeah, he's a fan of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Iggy, yo.
He
He
goes
eats a lot of
hunting.
elk meat.
Yeah, he does deer, but he does deer pork
venison.
sausage.
Venison.
Yo, he does a nigga. Woof, that shit. But
I
that
can see
shit
that
is
being
sauce.
good, but
yeah.
that on its own, venison's
But
kind
you
of
gotta
tough.
you gotta put pork in it because there's no fat. It's so lean.
Yeah, venison
Yeah.
is very gamey and lean.
Yeah,
But the thing is, when you
Because all
start
they do is
mixing,
run all day.
yeah.
when you start mixing stuff, that's when I kind of get like, yeah, this is like 50-50 venison pork. You're like, how much work is the pork doing? Because when you got to
Yeah.
mix it, that means it needs help.
The
Yeah,
pork is
yeah.
doing the heavy lifting.
That's
and
what I'm
it.
Oh,
saying.
yeah. You gotta have some fat.
The venison is the abuser and the pork is the abused.
Exactly, and so they just that's why they stay together so well.
In the abusive sausage relationship.
Yeah, that's a ill thing. I just what's funny is I think like like my older sister is she's so abusive, right? That she doesn't even have the emotional acuity to not be like it's always a sidebar. You know what I mean? No matter what she's saying, it's literally the way she's learned to be through insecurity, you know. Through insecurity, she's always learned to kind of like, oh, I gotta hedge my bets.
When
I
you
don't
say
what I'm-
sidebar, what do you mean by sidebar?
It's a
There's
defense
always-
mechanism.
Yeah. Well, like for instance, if she took me for a massage, she would take me, like treat me to a massage, like on my birthday or something, and then she would hit me with something she wanted me to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
You need
it
help.
was always a setup, some setup shit.
It
was
was never
always-
I'm about to
legitimate.
dip out.
Yeah. Go do
gotta
your
go?
thing, fam.
All right, fam.
All right, holla.
I actually got to head out soon too, but I'm listening to this story.
We're wrapping
bro.
up.
Yeah, so like she would always have because it's this is another situation where you talk about that, you know, people having self-esteem problems and they have self-esteem problems. And so she was a control freak because she figured if she could control all the elements, right, then she doesn't have to worry about anything because she's taking all the variables out of the way. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing like somebody going through your phone. It's like, I got to know this. I'm going to watch this and where you going. And whereas when you are dope, you go, yo, do whatever you going to do. Because if you fuck up, I'm going to leave. And me leaving is worse than anything I could ever say or yell or name call. Another me not being in your life is the worst thing could ever happen to you. And the only way you could do that with that kind of confidence is you got to believe that. And the only way you could believe that is that you got to put your feet on the floor every day and make the effort to be that. Nobody's going to be perfect and everybody falls short in some shape or form. But if you put your feet on the ground every day with that intention, then when you go, look, you don't want to be down with this, it's fine. You don't want to
unfortunately, sometimes that's the only time people appreciate values when you are willing to leave. Then they have to reconsider, like, wait a minute. And it's unfair because you stick around and you get taken for granted in a weird way at times.
I'm going to tell you honestly, Matt, if I wouldn't have a conversation. I wouldn't be, if I'm in your house, if I'm in somebody, put it like this, I'm in your house, we're building together, I'm paying the bills, I'm doing this, I'm literally, prospectively, I'm going to be we're going to be together. We're going to buy a home and put these animals. And then you go, I need some space. That's like, are you like, so I would not even, whether I loved her or not, we would not be in conversation. So, I go on with my life because what she's saying is this is not good enough. Let me see what other options is out there.
I hear that. And that was a thought that crossed my mind. But when I see what she's doing with the quote unquote space, she is literally waking up every day and figuring out how to get her own bag.
Doug, that has nothing to do with you.
It doesn't.
Right.
But
it has nothing to do with you. And the fact that somebody could take your life, somebody that you put any time and energy and just push pause because I ain't ready. It's whack.
But we've all been not ready for something before.
Yeah, but if you're not ready, if it's one thing if you're not ready. Look, here's the thing. We always set these boundaries or whatever because of those fears. But what ultimately anything you do is just you stepping over the line. It's the moment you step over that line, the moment you say I'm going to do this, and for somebody to say I'm gonna put your life on pause. I'm not saying you can't get back with her or whatever you do makes you happy. But why are you still giving her the comfort of friendship and comfort when she's saying, I need a pause? Pause should not be pause. Pause should be stop. Now, if you restart it, you restart it.
My mentality is don't get back with an ex. It's like putting shit back in your asshole after you take a shit.
Exactly.
However, this is less of a taking a shit and more of a reevaluating the diet.
All right, that's enough bullshit from you.
Hey, Harry, Dante, I love you both. Hey, Dante, you doing the show on Saturday?
Yeah, they sent me all the information. I'll be over there.
Harry, we gotta get you up, bro.
Hey, man, I'd love to do it, Matt. Anytime, man.
Not that nigga Andre, because he's gonna bring a bunch of apples.
He'll bring a bunch of apples. And then just make it awkward for everybody.
Big old apple sack for no reason.
Big old sack of apples. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for doing this, bro.
Thank you for saving my life, and I'm so happy that you're not Jersey Mike.
I'm not Jersey Mike. Tell your
Daddy's not Jersey Mike.
Tell him I said peace.
Yo, y'all take it easy.
All right. See ya, Matt.
Mad love.
Man School 202 is created by Dante Nero. Hosted by Dante Nero with Harry Terjanian and Andre D. Thompson. Produced by Harry Terjanian. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt, Harry Terjanian, and Dante Nero.